Do you constantly feel like you have to reinvent the wheel or do something different or, come up with brand spanking new, amazing content every time you need to put out a YouTube video or an Instagram post or a Facebook post or whatever? Well, I'm here to tell you today that you do not have to reinvent the wheel when it comes to content creation. And I want to explain what that looks like and how you can use it to be more consistent and put out more content in your business, which will help you convert and grow. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Jessica Stansberry and I am a content marketing strategist here to help you create more content, convert people to sales, and grow your business. So if that sounds like something that tickles your fancy, make sure you hit subscribe because I don't want you to miss any other fun tips and tricks with me here on this channel twice a week. Now, like I said, a lot of times people get stuck in this rat race of, you know what, I want to create content. I want to put out blog posts, Instagram posts, Facebook posts, YouTube videos, Instagram stories, Instagram TV, like whatever. But I literally don't know what I'm going to talk about. I feel like I have to create these massive posts or massive content pieces every single time I put out a video or whatever I'm doing, and that's holding me back. And I totally get that. But what I want you to understand is that you do not have to reinvent the wheel with each piece of content you put out. What you are focusing on is the fact that you are creating content that is going to help your ideal client or customer. And with that, sometimes that means talking about something from a different angle or telling parts of a story throughout a process, or taking a little subset of what you want to tell them about, telling that, and then taking the rest of the subsets and telling it later. But either way, your job is to provide useful information to your people so that they feel like you have really helped them, and then they come back over and over and over again and hopefully eventually become a conversion / a paying customer. So there are definitely a couple ways to do this, a couple of ways to create consistent content without having to reinvent the wheel. The first way I want to talk about is what I was just saying, which is taking one topic and breaking it down into smaller pieces. So let's say you are a Facebook ad strategist and you want to talk about Facebook ads, and you are feeling like every single time you talk about Facebook ads, whether it's a podcast episode, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, that you feel like you have to have these massive, almost like mini courses or courses that you release. But really what you need to do is you need to give a small win to your people and have them keep coming back. Now, I'm not saying you don't need those massive pieces. You don't need those big epic blog posts or epic content pieces that allow people to come into your funnels and all of that. But to be consistent, to be blogging once a week, to be YouTubing twice a week, to be Instagramming 3 times a week, whatever it is for you, sometimes you have to know where to kind of take chunks out and leave some things behind for those epic posts. So let's say again that you are a Facebook ad strategist and you want to talk about the magical world of the Facebook pixel. So instead of thinking that for every video, for every Instagram post, for every Facebook post, whatever, that you have to basically like dive into the Facebook pixel. It's a, basically an ebook that you put out. It's basically a movie, whatever. Think about it in small chunks. How can you give them a quick win? So if you're going to talk about that Facebook pixel, the first thing you might do is explain what it is. What is the Facebook pixel? That's a very small portion of a larger picture, right? Then the second video you might do is how to install your Facebook pixel. Again, small portion of a larger picture. Then you might go on in a third video to talk about how the pixel tracks visitors to your website. Another small part. The fourth video or post, you might talk about how to retarget people. Again, these are all smaller pieces of a bigger picture, and you can use that to not recreate the wheel, But you can use that to create consistent content, help your people, give them a quick win, but still be seen as the expert. So that is tip number 1 I have for you. Take that big, massive thing you want to talk about and turn it into little tiny chunks. The next way that you can really use not creating the wheel in your content strategy is to take things from different angles. So let's say your strategy, your social media plan has you posting on Instagram 3 times a week, or Instagram TV 3 times a week, or YouTube 3 times a week, or Facebook, whatever that looks like for you. It doesn't have to be videos, it doesn't have to be posts, but whatever your content strategy looks like, let's say that you're doing it 3 times a week. And one week you did a video all about how to get more subscribers on YouTube. I'm going to use my own example here. Okay, I'm going to talk about how to get more subscribers on YouTube, right? Then maybe in a couple of weeks, I need to fill a hole in my content calendar again. And I need to be able to, again, help my people without feeling like I'm having to put in hours and hours and hours of work every single time I do it. So, okay, I talked about how to get more subscribers. Let's talk about how to get your first 1,000 subscribers, because essentially it's the same thing, right? You're going to use all the tips I just talked about on how to get more subscribers to get your 1,000 subscribers, but now I'm positioning it in a way where maybe a different person is going to see it and want to watch it. They didn't want to watch the other one, but now they want to watch this one. Or maybe I'm going to throw in a couple more tips that I didn't talk about in that other video. But then maybe in a couple weeks, I decide, okay, I've talked about how to get more subscribers. I've talked about how to get your first 1,000 subscribers. And a lot of people are coming to me and saying, you know what, my channel's not growing quick enough. Okay, well, I would want to point them to these videos, right? How to get more subscribers, how to get your first 1,000. But instead of doing that, I want to hit them in their pain point, and so that they will watch the video. And so I might create a third video that's something along the lines of why your channel isn't growing. And I'm going to basically give the same tips that I gave in how to get more subscribers and how to get your first 1,000, but I'm going to take it at the angle of this is what you're doing that's not working, and this is what you need to do. So you can absolutely take the same topic and spread it out throughout weeks or months of content that takes it from different angles, because one, different people are going to resonate with different titles, different topics, etc. And 2, you will always have new things to share. But 3, it's really the same content, so you're able to kind of spread it out and not feel like you are, again, reinventing the wheel, having to come up with a brand new spanking topic every single time you sit down to write an Instagram post or Facebook post or a YouTube video. And again, I want to reiterate that I'm not saying you should cop out and just totally talk about the same thing all the time. People will catch on to that. But what I do think you should do is cover all of your bases. And so that's where the second tip of coming from different angles comes from, because you can create 10 different videos that are really the same topic, but approach it from different angles and really fill up your content calendar pretty quickly. Now, another way that you can really dive in and spread out your content is to share only part of a story, and then share a second part of a story, and then a third part. And I'm going to use Instagram as an example here. So on Instagram, let's say you have a photo of yourself in a coffee shop, and you are sitting at the counter and you're, drinking your coffee or your tea or whatever beverage of choice you have in your hand. And in the picture, there's beautiful scenery all around you. It's one of those gorgeous coffee shops. You can crop out different sections of that photo and tell a different story about that photo that will cover your content calendar for, however long it takes. So maybe you crop out the corner and it's just a coffee mug sitting on a table. And that's your photo on Instagram for this, this day. And you tell a story about how when you were younger, your grandpa used to drink coffee and you used to think it was so gross, but you loved the time with him, that you would sit down and talk through life or whatever with your grandpa and his coffee, and how coffee has become something that you just love as an adult, and you wish you could go back to those days of talking to your grandpa over a cup of coffee, right? And then maybe the next photo you share just your face from that photo, and you talk about how you have really come into your own and you've grown this business and X, Y, and Z, and you take the story further, and then maybe on that fourth day, or even if you're spreading this across multiple weeks of content, you post the full photo and you talk about how the full picture of your business, the full story, how everything kind of comes together. So I used Instagram as an example there, but you can really do this on anything. And so Instagram's a great example because you can literally crop the photo into different pieces and then use those pieces to tell a story. But you could do the same thing on Facebook. You can do the same thing on your blog. You can do the same thing on YouTube. You could literally, want to tell this same story, and one video is about coffee with your grandpa. Another video is about how you've worked really hard to build this business. A third video is about how you've stepped into your own and you've 10x'd your income last year, whatever. But you can tell that same partial story throughout multiple weeks of content and really fill up that calendar in a way that's impactful and meaningful and helps your person, which is what it's all about. All right, so I hope that helps you out. Using content to market your business, being that person that is, posting on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on your blog, whatever, to help your ideal client and then eventually turn them into sales can be really daunting. It can be something that feels like you have to put so many man hours into it. And while you do have to put man hours into it to make it successful, you maybe don't have to put as many as you think you do, which is what this whole video was about today. So I hope this helped. Let me know in the comments if you've ever done this or if you have ideas for how you can do this in your business. And until next time, make sure you hit subscribe because I don't want you to miss anything else. Bye, y'all.